Morning, President Jones and members of the board. As you know, our original plan was to meet in person this month, but with the ongoing spread of the Delta variant, it's still really not appropriate for us to do so. So once again, we're meeting virtually and maintaining our remote working environment while continuing to meet all of our member and customer needs, as well as supporting our team members with the information and the resources that they need to be successful and to continue to conduct our business. As President Jones indicated, here in California, we are feeling the effects of the wildfires in the northern part of the state, Lake Tahoe, and closer to home with the Caldor and Bridge fires that are just outside of Sacramento. And fortunately, several of our own CalPERS team members had to evacuate, and I'm aware of at least 2 team members who've lost their primary residence, as well as a team member who lost their family cabin that had been in their family for generations. We're grateful for all the first responders and the firefighters who are working so hard to protect us all. For our part, the CalPERS team continues to reach out to those impacted by natural disasters to ensure they continue to receive their retirement checks, or to encourage them, frankly, to select a direct deposit form of receiving their pension payments. With the seemingly growing number of weather-related disasters, we'll continue to monitor, pay close attention to these emergency situations to see how we can best serve those members who are going through a very catastrophic time in their lives. That does bring me to our plans around returning the majority of our team to the office and to reopen our regional locations as well. We had planned to begin returning to the office at the start of September. However, given the rise in the COVID cases, we have delayed those plans a bit. Our current plan is to begin transitioning back into the office on October 1. We certainly have had a number of our team members, approximately 200, who have been here since day 1 of the pandemic. These are the team members who really cannot do their jobs remotely, but also are in a position where they enable everyone else to be able to perform their jobs remotely. So I want to just take a moment to recognize them and thank them for all of their work. With the remainder of the workforce, we anticipate coming in on November 1. October 1 will be all of the executive team who, frankly, has been transitioning back in for months now, as well as volunteers. I continue to receive quite a bit of contact from team members about when they can return to the office. We have a number who really wish to do so. But these plans are contingent on our ability to implement the testing requirements that the governor has put in place. We've been in contact with several vendors about conducting online testing, or excuse me, on-site testing, as well as using facilities that are near the CalPERS campus or near some of our regional locations. So we are working hard to get those processes in place over the next 2 weeks. I do want to emphasize, as I've done throughout this pandemic, and in particular the first days, that this is really a fluid situation. We continue to monitor and depend on all of the advice and really the guidelines coming from public health officials. And our motto really has been data, not dates. And I think that's a reflection of the movement of some of the early dates that I had communicated out to you as well as to our team. As President Jones indicated, and thank you for that recognition, Mr. Jones, last month we did host the first Pathways for Women event. This is an online event in recognition of Women's Equality Day, the day that commemorates the 1920 certification of the 19th Amendment that gave women the right to vote. The purpose of the event was to inspire women in the workplace, not forgetting our male counterparts who are very instrumental in also supporting women in career paths. And just looked at the feedback mechanism, the survey results that came in on that event, and it was really quite successful based on the comments we received as well as the ratings. We had over 1,100 attendees tuned into the sessions we offered, featuring conversations among prominent women at the top of their professions, sharing their career stories, as well as offering some advice, things that they learned along their own pathway. Our keynote speaker was Congresswoman Doris Matsui, who joined me, as well as the CalSTRS CEO, Cassandra Licknock, in a very candid conversation about the progress women have made in the workplace, as well as in Congress. We were also pleased to have board members Lisa Middleton and Stacey Oliveras serve as moderators for 2 of the sessions. And finally, let me say that we closed the day with a very special guest, Linda Yang, who was the first woman appointed to the CalPERS board back in 1977, and who served later as U.S. ambassador and executive director to the board of directors of the Asian Development Bank. She spoke to us about her experience and really at that point in time, groundbreaking work. Ambassador Yang is now 95 years old, lives very close to Sacramento, lives out in Davis. And the conversation we had offered really a fascinating insight into her trailblazing life. And if you weren't able to attend the conference or just want to watch the sessions again, the videos are available on our website. Tomorrow, I will be participating in a panel discussion for the Association of Asian American Investment Managers, their national conference, referred to as AIM. We have a long-standing relationship with AIM, and I look forward to connecting with them in person. This will be one of our first in-person events. The focus of the panel will be the institutional investors' perspective on the pandemic, the work of diversity, equity, and inclusion, as well as current investment strategies that CalPERS is contemplating. Marlene will be joining me, so she can be formally introduced as our new Chief Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer. And I know also President Jones will be speaking this evening. Looking ahead to October, we will host our 22nd Annual Education Forum on October 19th and 20th. Like last year, this forum will be hosted online. The event is free and open to all CalPERS contracting agencies. Registration did open 2 weeks ago. We have about 1,100 employers already registered for that event. Last year, approximately 1,600 employers attended the forum. So we're well on our way to strong attendance numbers once again. In addition to our educational sessions, we'll also host the Spotlight on Excellence ceremony. And this is where we honor a person, a program, or an agency for their outstanding service to their community. It's really one of the forum's highlights we look forward to every year. And this year, we did receive a record number of nominations. Our public employers do tell us how valuable it is to connect with our teams directly and to get their questions answered in more of a one-on-one session. So we will feature exhibits and those consultations once again this year. Coming up at the November board meetings, we'll close out the ALM process with action items to choose a portfolio allocation and discount rate for the next 4 years. We will be bringing back those 4 candidate portfolios that were determined in the investment committee on Monday. And this is the culmination of the process that we've been really going through over the last year to analyze what we think those future risks and return opportunities would be and what those long-term costs to the fund and to fund member benefits. The approved portfolio allocation and the discount rate will go into effect in the next fiscal year. We'll also, in November, be discussing the 2023 health plan proposals, as well as the basic financial statements that are featured in our annual financial report released in December. And I'll close my report with investment performance as of June 30th of 2021. The 1-year performance is 21.3, the 3-year is 10.7, the 5-year is 10.3, and the 10-year is 8.5. And that does conclude my report, President Jones. Thank you.